I think in Jiu-Jitsu, there's thousands of techniques. You're going to try a bunch, but there are a few that you're going to feel like a click. You're going to feel like, oh man, this works for me. This is like my style. And those techniques are the ones that I call like the core. And then he came to me and he was like, Bernardo, I think this is going to work for you. And I did it and I felt like a click. I was like, boom, man, this is good for me. This is the borderline of how I developed my game. Today I got such a great question here from Gary Helson from Checkmate Bristol in UK. Bernardo, I'm trying to put together a competition game where I do the same technique from the same positions each time. So he's trying to build his competition game where he's only focused on certain techniques, similar to what I do. And he said that for him, this technique is the close guard. He was very inspired by my competition career where I focus on only a few techniques. He's wondering how he should structure the training to be able to refine the competition specific game while also taking the time to be part of regular class and to learn new things. He said that the biggest challenge that he has is that while he's feeling he's being able to sharp his A game, but all his other moves are suffering. So meaning like his A game is getting better, but the rest of his jiu-jitsu is suffering. Gary, thanks so much for the question. This is such a great question. I think it's gonna help a lot of people. I'm gonna go back here to when I started jiu-jitsu. So I started jiu-jitsu in 2001, when I was about 14 years old. In the beginning, all I would do is I would try to pull close guard, use the hip bump sweep and get the mount or get the kimura. That was my game. I would do that against everybody. But then at some point, people started not letting me close the guard anymore. So I couldn't close the guard. They would start very low and there was no way to close the guard. So then I tried spider guard, but to me, like I had to be flexible and this and that. It was just not a good fit for me. Like I didn't feel I was flexible enough. And then I tried butterfly guard. But in my opinion, butterfly guard for me was too much going on. You know? I had no grips. The guy was moving around. I had to follow him. I was kind of slow and this and that. Butterfly guard didn't work. And then I tried half guard. And then half guard, I love it for a few reasons. One, because it was so easy to pull. I could literally pull half guard anytime I wanted. All I had to do is lie down myself underneath my opponent and lock my legs on his leg. And that's it. He's on my half guard, and now I can play the shields, I can play regular half guard, I can play whatever I want. Immediately I felt like half guard is my thing. And then a similar thing happened with my over-under pass. Like I was yellow belt, a blue belt from my hometown school. His nickname was Coke because he used to work at Coke, the soda company. And then he came to me and he was like, Bernardo, I think this is going to work for you. And he showed me the over-under pass. So he was a blue belt, I was a yellow belt. And I did it and I felt like a click. I was like, boom, man, this is good for me. And I was kind of struggling with knee cut. I was struggling with Toreando pass. Like knee cut was never my thing. Toreando, I felt I needed the speed and this and that. And over-under was my thing. You know, I was like, man, this works for me. So it was, again, almost like a click. So here comes the first conclusion. I mean, like, I think in Jiu-Jitsu, there's thousands or hundreds of techniques. You're going to try a bunch, but there are a few that you're going to feel like a click. You're going to feel like, oh man, this works for me. This is like my style. And those techniques are the ones that I call like the core. Those will become your core. So for example, in my game, what's my core? My core is half guard when I'm on bottom and over-under when I'm on top. This is my core. And now comes the second part. Now the second part is like, how can you expand your core? How can you grow around your core? On half guard, the way I expanded my core was I developed the single leg half guard, which is the one I grabbed the lapel underneath the leg and I tried taking down to the single leg. I developed the deep half guard, which I used the Faria sweep from there. And then I developed the half deep half guard that I also used the Faria sweep from there, grabbing the lapel and bumping. So then I had like single leg half guard, deep half guard, half deep half guard. And then I developed the Turkish get-up from the deep half guard. So I was in the deep half guard and I could sweep my opponent, lift him in the shoulders. So it was all around the half guard. And then at some point I was training so much with the same people that I noticed that they could stop my half guard. My half guard was not working anymore. And then I went back to the close guard because it was such an easy transition between going to half guard to close guard to half guard. But you can see that the whole time I was expanding my core. My core was half guard, and then I added deep half guard, single leg half guard, Turkish get up. I started playing the half deep, half with the Faria sweep, and then I went to close guard. So you can see that I was always like trying to go around the core. And same thing for the top game. So over under I felt was my thing. So then I started developing a bunch of like moves and almost like details and how to answer the what ifs inside the over under pass. I was not trying to do the cut anymore. I was not trying to do leg drags anymore. I was just trying to do the over under pass as much as I could and understand every single what if that can happen inside the over under. What if they push my head? What if they push my shoulder? What if they control my pants? What if they control my elbow? What if they hip escape? What if they bench press? And I tried to answer every single question. And then I started developing a lot of entries for the over under pass. Entries from the lasso guard, entries from the spider guard, entries from the De La Riva guard, entries from the butterfly guard, and etc, etc, etc. And then I started learning like how to finish the over-under. If when I get the side control, they try to push my head inside the inverted triangle. If when I get the side control, they try to block my triceps and I cannot hold the head. So how I would solve those problems. So I was always expanding and expanding and expanding and expanding around my core. So I think like this is the bottom line of how I developed my game. But now answering your question, Bernardo, is your other moves will suffer? I do think they will, but my theory is in Jiu-Jitsu I want to be open-minded to learn everything. I want to learn every single move. If you teach me breathing bolo, I want to learn. If you teach me leg drag, I want to learn. But learning doesn't mean that I need to practice and means that I need to do on the sparrings. So I would learn the moves, but I would not necessarily use those moves on the sparrings or practice those moves on a daily basis. So I would just kind of like learn it. So if someone tries to do against me, I know what's going on. If I was doing a Marcelo's class in New York and he teaches something, I would definitely learn it. I would do the drill in that session. But if I felt it was not my game, I would not pursue and continue trying to insist on that specific game. So try to learn everything, but don't practice everything. And then accept that you're developing an A game. And I think in Jiu-Jitsu it's way easier to become really good by mastering a few moves than trying to be average on every single move. It's really hard to become a great doctor, great attorney, and great engineering all in the same time. You know, like you might need to pick one. Oh, I'm gonna become a doctor. And then even inside the doctor, you might need to pick like, oh, I'm gonna become a knee doctor or orthopedist. A knee orthopedist. And you keep specializing. And I think Jiu-Jitsu is pretty similar. Like you pick a few subjects, you define them as your core, and you try to grow inside those subjects and around those subjects. I have no problems with my other moves suffering a little bit if this A game is getting really good. And the last experience that I want to share here with you, I love business. Like I'm the co-founder of BJJ Fanatics, right? I have my school and I'm constantly thinking about ideas and that. So it's one thing that I really love and it feels like Jiu-Jitsu for me. And I read a book that's called Profit from the Core. And what I learned in this book is that you should define your core in the business scenario, and you should try to grow around the core. So for example, in my case, my core is Jiu-Jitsu. And then I try to grow around the core. So I have BJJ Fanatics, I have my academy, I'm an instructor inside BJJ Fanatics, I teach seminars, we sell merch. So I'm literally trying to grow around the core. So that's like what I have been doing. So it's pretty similar, like this business idea from this book and the Jiu-Jitsu idea that I'm just sharing with you right now. So really hope this helps you. Pretty much the idea was like define your core, select a few moves, define your core, be open-minded to learn everything, but understand that you don't have to spend too much time on everything, and then try to grow around the core. I think this was the main message around the video here. Don't try to, oh, I'm playing spider, I'm playing half guard, now I'm going to try to learn reverse I'm going to try to learn De La Riva guard or being bolo. There's not so much correlation there. So try to be around your core and grow around and inside your core. And I think that's going to help you a lot. So guys, if you are like over 30 or over 35 or over 40, if you're in the Masters division and you do Jiu-Jitsu, some of my best selling courses at BJJ Fanatics are the Jiu-Jitsu for Old Guys series. And I pretty much have like one instruction per subject inside this series. It's at bjjfanatics.com, so make sure to check that out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope to see you in the next one. Os. Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe. And to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
BJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.